Who doesn't love sitting down and fighting a boss for much longer than necessary? While there's something to be said about a challenge, there's also plenty to be said about hitting enormous HP walls and brutal attacks again and again. Let's take a look at more marathon bosses that will break your spirit. Claw of Abjure Mag, Guild Wars 2. The Claw of Abjure Mag is a world boss, and while you might think it's a good 15 to 20 minutes to kill, you'd be wrong. Players have 30 minutes to complete the fight, and it involves multiple stages where the claw can't be hurt. It can be damaged in between, but otherwise you'll be running around, breaking the corrupted ice shield, protecting packed bomb golems, etc., etc. An exasperating fight, even when everything is going your way. Clock Tower 3, Lord Burrows. The big bad of Clock Tower 3, Lord Burrows' ability certainly matches his ambition. Armed with 2 health bars, Burrows is capable of swiping at Alyssa with his sword, holding her in place with blood pools, and dealing damage with purple energy. The kicker is that getting hit by the purple energy 3 times will kill Alyssa immediately. Ducking is recommended, but you also have to worry about being grabbed, which allows Burrows to drain health and regain his own. Diablo II, Diablo. When Diablo 3 released and many veteran players felled Diablo, there was a sense of disappointment. That's because everything seemed minor compared to the abject terror that was Diablo in Diablo 2. Even in normal difficulty with 13,818 HP, Diablo remains dangerous even for well-geared players. Plenty of time is spent avoiding his attacks, whether it's the ever-expanding Fire Nova or Lightning Inferno, which can eradicate players with enough time. And if you think that's bad, there's also the randomly spawning Uber Diablo on Hell difficulty with a whopping 642,700 HP. King Krusha K. Rool, Donkey Kong 64. K. Rool has always been a headache to fight in the Donkey Kong series due to the multiple phases that one has to go through without dying. He's no different in Donkey Kong 64, except this time it's a 5-round boxing match. Each round requires a completely different strategy, since a different Kong family member is fighting, and losing on any will start it all over again. All in all, it's a good 15 to 20 minutes even if you're moderately skilled. Dragon Ball Z, Goku Gekitoden, Frieza. It's easy to appreciate the newer bosses in Dragon Ball Z titles, especially when looking back at classics like Dragon Ball Z, Goku Gekitoden. Frieza is included as a boss here, and that means fighting all of his different forms across multiple characters. HP pools range from 200,000 for his first form to 400,000 for his final form. This can already take a long while, and you only get 2 chances to save between the forms. There's also 100 power final form Frieza to battle on top of all this if you meet the right conditions. Fallout 3, Super Mutant Behemoth. If you happen to be carrying around a fat man, then the Super Mutant Behemoths aren't all that tough. If you're not, well, be prepared to chunk down 2,000 HP of health while not getting brained by fire hydrants. And if you manage to kill one after a harrowing battle, then take heart, there are 4 more to slay throughout the Capital Wasteland. Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, Marluxia. Back in the day, some of us hopped on board the Kingdom Hearts train with Kingdom Hearts 2. It was a wise decision because it meant skipping the terror that was Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance. A difficult game in its own right, Chain of Memories had a rough final boss in Marluxia, who's armed with 4 health bars, short windows to attack, and an attack that can knock you away. And to think he has a second form in Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix on the PS2. Borderlands, the pre-sequel, Claptastic Voyage, 5H4D0W-TP. 5H4D0W-TP, or Shadow Trap, is easily one of the most annoying bosses in the Borderlands franchise. Yes, even more so than the Calypso twins. Instead of an unbearable personality though, Shadow Trap has an obscene amount of health and shields. You have to battle a huge exoskeleton in the form of Eclipse, and then a corrupt version of the Helio Station called Eos, which can take almost an hour on normal mode if you're lucky. Dawn of War 2, Chaos Rising, Ulker. Ulker isn't a great unclean one for nothing. With 2 million HP and health regen, you'll be chopping away at him for a while. What makes Ulker even more annoying is that he can decimate your forces easily when he's not hooking and tossing them around. Make sure not to fail when facing him, lest you restart the mission and then the fight from the beginning. Tales of Symphonia, Abyssian. Abyssian seems like a decent enough fellow initially, tasking you to gather all of the Devil's Arms so he can seal them away. Spoiler, he infuses himself with the Dark Lord Nibilim's power and uses all of the Devil's Arms against you. So along with some utterly devastating attacks, he also has tons of health. The best way to fight Abyssian is to use the All Divide, which halves the damage you deal and receive. Sure, the battle goes on even longer, but your chances of survival are better. Fun fact, in the PS2 version, All Divide doesn't work on Abyssian, and he's tougher. Dark Gaia, Sonic Unleashed. A game that starts with Sonic turning into a werehog just has to end with him fighting the incarnation of darkness and destruction. It just has to. The battle sees the Gaia Colossus, don't ask, getting close to Dark Gaia and hitting it, followed by Sonic running through a course to destroy a weak point. Repeat this entire process twice, or repeat the same process again and again if you don't know what to do, leading to this fight dragging on way longer than necessary. Star Ocean, Till the End of Time, Freya. Available after completing the main story, Freya is a level 244 optional boss, which means she can take obscene amounts of damage and one-shot a weak party very easily. Even if you're an absurdly high level and have the best weapons, you're still looking at about 20 million HP of health that needs to be chonked down. Fighting Freya on higher difficulties like Universe and 4D is even more fun, especially the latter, which gives a battle trophy if you can best her within 60 minutes. Monster Hunter World Iceborne, Safi'jiiva. Safi'jiiva is part of a siege quest, much like Kulve Taroth. 4 teams of 4 players each need to fight it, depleting energy levels in the secluded valley and breaking parts to send it deeper underground. The problem is that depending on one's DPS or the number of players per group, it can take a while to finally kill Safi'jiiva. Don't even think about taking this on solo. The energy grind alone will hurt. Gaia D2, A Brighter Darkness. Tyrant Overlord Baal. If you decide to take on Baal in Rasetsu mode, then prepare yourself for a long battle. With 100 billion HP, 500 million per stat, level 999 items, which can't be stolen, and 6 different forms with a bevy of skills that are just evil to fight against. From increased evasion and HP regeneration for Baal, to inflicting all status ailments each turn to your party, this is the ultimate battle, and that's without Land of Carnage multipliers. And that wraps it up. If you like what we are doing, please consider subscribing to our channel, and don't forget to switch on the bell notification icon. That way you will never miss out on any of our videos.